Spring in East Texas is beautiful, but it's also unpredictable. One week we could be at 80 degrees and then the next we could have heavy rain or even a cold snap. Gardeners are frustrated sometimes, wondering how they can keep their flower beds safe. So tonight we're connecting the forecast to your flower beds. Warmer afternoons may tempt you to start planting, but local experts say patience pays off. I headed over to Tyler Rose Gardens to discuss timing and preparation with Jana Pirtle, horticulturist for the city of Tyler.
The average last date of frost for East Texas is March 15th. Looking at the weather forecast for the next 2 weeks, I'm only seeing lows in the 50s, so I think we're safe. I think spring is here.
But that doesn't mean everything should go in the ground just yet.
So as far as annuals that really need the warm weather, things like vinca, sweet potato vines, and things like that, I would hold off just a couple more weeks on those.
Some plants can handle a brief dip in temperature.
There are some warm season annuals that can tolerate a little bit of frost, things like petunias, and there's actually a couple of varieties of petunias that not only can tolerate the frost, they can also tolerate heat. Bubblegum pink, Laura Bush petunia, which is a Texas superstar, so those can tolerate a frost now as well as the heat later in the summer.
And if East Texas throws us another surprise cold snap?
So if it's just going to get down to 32 and you've got something out there that is sensitive to the cold, water it a little bit, put a frost cloth over it, and we're good. Don't use plastic.
And when experts are asked if gardeners should follow the calendar or forecast for planting times,
I think they should follow the forecast, absolutely.
Over in the Idea Garden, Elizabeth Woldrup, Smith County Master Gardener, tells us how spring doesn't just bring sunshine, it also brings storm season.
The biggest mistake that we see is that people get so excited on the first few warm days of spring that they start going to the big box stores and buying stuff and get way ahead on their planting.
And storms can create problems even after plants are in the ground.
If you have prepared your soil well and you have good draining soil, and we do have great soil here in East Texas because there's a lot of sand in it. As long as you've got good draining soil and you're not living on a clay pan, you don't really have to worry about the amount of rain that we're getting.
But extended cold and wet conditions can lead to trouble.
If there's extended cold periods after those rains, then some plants may rot or get a fungal infection. So you want to watch for that.
Strong winds and hail can also do damage fast.
All of our storms come with huge amounts of wind at the front of those storms. And so you really need to look, especially if you've got young plants in the ground, garden type plants like tomatoes and peppers and stuff, that their stems are strong and they can take the battering of the wind.
So, what's the secret to spring gardening in East Texas?
Just pay attention to the weather and understand that plants do better in some kinds of weather than others, but any extreme weather event is going to affect your plants.
And when it comes to planting vegetables, timing matters just as much as temperature.
Timing is everything, especially with vegetables, because we have limited opportunities to grow the certain kinds of vegetables that we love here. And so really pay attention.
From frost blankets to watching the 10-day forecast, experts say successful East Texas gardeners don't just follow tradition, they follow the weather.